regarding your take on, what about your take on religion or spirituality or God?
It's funny. I I was never a religious. Okay, I was never a
Agnostic,
religious.
or you
I
were
was for a long time very agnostic. And that's coming from a boy who was an altar boy in the States. Because when I studied in the States, I had to go to a Catholic school because I wasn't a U.S. citizen, so I couldn't enter a public school, which was on the contrary. There, a public school, depending on your area, if your area is nice, is so well equipped. It's so much more beautiful than a Catholic school.
Mm.
Um, it's free. That's one, diba? But because I was with my dad there and I was not an American citizen, we had to pay for my education, and I ended up in a private school where I was an altar boy, and I had to serve the ministry and all of those things.
This is
Uh,
Catholic.
Catholic.
Yeah.
So even when I was young, when I was studying in the Sal Green Hills at the time, I would be the one who, after dismissal, would run to the chapel to pray before going home. I think a lot of it changed when my parents separated. Uh, those are little things that you don't notice that affect your child. And I just, in that time where I was sort of spiritually dry, also came the time when philosophy was introduced. And philosophy,
When was it introduced?
high school, philosophy, if you are weak, will also challenge what you know to be your norm or what you've accepted as truth, because it challenges truth. That's what philosophy does. And I noticed that in my teenage years, I just like to challenge everything. I like I enjoyed challenging schools of thought. I enjoyed challenging norms. I enjoyed pressing the buttons of people because I felt they were just being close-minded or oblivious to progress outside, that maybe they were stuck in their own ways. Um, so I was agnostic for a very long time, and I will, to her credit, my my then girlfriend, she introduced me to this group called BCBP. Okay, and mind you, it is the last thing. Anyone who knows me will probably fall off the chair if they had found out sooner that I was part of a religious, like, prayer group type of thing. So BCBP, if I'm not mistaken, is Brotherhood for Christian Business Professionals, something like that. Basically, what it did for me was it put me in subgroups similar to, how born again Christians have very intimate discussions about their faith, and in Catholic practices usually we're very, it's big, it's like a cathedral, and you say
It's a
the
different setting.
same
yeah.
repetitive things, and then there's nothing, you go home. This one, in this group of BCBP, especially with the group that I was thrown into, it showed me a more human side to my religion of being a Catholic. It showed that I can be around people who are not going to pretend to be angels. These are people who constantly sin, constantly have struggle with trying to be better people, and that made me feel at home because there's nobody more flawed than me. And joining that group helped me somehow spiritually, but I cannot say that I am a religious person. I cannot say that I go to mass on Sundays. My relationship with God, at least the God that I have come to understand through 35 years of living, is a very personal experience. So I find that I pray most sincerely when I am alone, and that when I'm at mass,
Yeah, of course. I think
it's distracting. I'm not putting it down. I will go to mass if I have to. Let's say
to each his own.
to each his own. But I find more sincerity when I pray on my own, because it comes from me, and I
personal
Yeah,
prayer.
I don't really pray to ask. I always pray to thank, because I always feel that in a list of people who have something to ask, I shouldn't be prioritized, but everybody sees it differently.